Howdy, Immortalium here. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but I collect some anime magazines, one of the big names being Neo. And in Neo there is a column run by a man called Jonathan Clements. Now, if you're not aware of who Jonathan Clements is, he's kind of an authority in the anime world. He wrote a book called The Anime Encyclopedia. He wrote a book recently called Anime A History, and basically he is a professional in the field, a professional historian of anime. So his topics, his opinions hold a great deal of weight, at least to me, at least. And I always, find them fascinating things to read, his monthly column. But this month was particularly interesting and something that I kind of wanted to expand upon. I would read you the, a little article, except I'm fairly sure it's copyrighted, so I'll just give you the kind of gist of it. Basically, Evangelion 3.33 has been delayed in the UK. Following the delay in the US, that's not a really big surprise. But a lot of people over here are kind of freaking out. They're going, I want it now. And Jonathan Clements was kind of posing a question, as in, as an otaku, these days at least, in his opinion, most people seem to want the newest stuff, the newest show. And they don't seem to, have any regard for older anime series, older classics. And something that particularly shocked him was the amount of otaku these days who he meets and have not seen, Akira, have not seen Cowboy Bebop, have not seen Ghost in the Shell, have not seen Voices of a Distant Star. Now, I will confess, I have not actually seen Cowboy Bebop or Voices of a Distant Star, something I hope to rectify this year with the release from Anime Limited. But this kind of surprised him, and it's just something that I kind of want to expand upon. It's true, in my anime society, I know that my anime society is not, an entire culture, but it is an interesting kind of subgroup to kind of analyze. Many of them don't actually watch older anime. There's a fair few of them that have not seen Akira, that have not seen Ghost in the Shell. And also what's fascinating is how many of them don't even know the names of certain series. I mean, a lot of them don't even know any of Makoto Shinkai's works. They don't know who he is. A lot of them, this really surprised me, don't know what Rurouni Kenshin is. I was quite surprised at that. I mean, how many otaku don't know what Rurouni Kenshin is? So that kind of made me start thinking about how otaku, at least in general, I'm not saying every otaku does this, but they don't seem to hold much of a regard for, older series. And that doesn't just apply to anime. It also applies to manga. I ran a marathon recently, a 24-hour manga marathon, and there was a comment in the announcement video of it. And I won't say the name of who it is, just in case, but if you go to that video you can see who it is. It's still there. But the comment said that this person had no interest in older manga. He had no interest in Tezuka, he had no interest in manga before 1990, and this surprised me. He was a relatively popular YouTuber, relatively popular being maybe about 400 subscribers, which is, to be honest, more than I have. So, and so it just surprised me. This is one of those guys who, he has a decent following, and yet he has no interest in the classics. All he wants is the newer stuff. I don't know, it just kind of, back then it made me think, but now with the Jonathan Clements article, it's really kind of gestated in my mind and just made me, more confident to discuss it. Now, one can argue that the reason a lot of people haven't been able to see these series is because of the fact that they've been unavailable. I mean, Cowboy Bebop, for instance. In the UK, at least, it was only just recently it got a re-release. Until recently it was out of print. And in America, Funimation have only just announced that they've rescued it. So it's been out of print from Bandai Entertainment, that's true. But you have to remember that a lot of people, they they follow what I don't like, you know, piracy. So I'm sure there's plenty of otaku out there who could have watched it online, and if they have some weird double standard, like that they're okay pirating the newer shows, but for some reason can't pirate an older show because of the fact that they want to buy it. I don't know, that's something that would be really weird. I can imagine that maybe some people might have that, but I don't know, that'd be quite odd. But my point is that a lot of these fans don't watch it not because of the fact that it's out of print, but simply because of the fact they have no interest in it, that they just want to see the newest series. Now, there is an aspect to this that I've been aware of, but it's interesting in that Piracy video that I did, the Piracy rant, how many people came to the defense of piracy because of this and its discussions. Loads of people want to, you know, be able to discuss the newest series with other people. So, like for example, when Attack on Titan was airing, a lot of people wanted to see the newest episodes simply so they can discuss it with other people, and that also applies to the manga. So I understand to an extent. You have to remember that I still, you know, believe that piracy is a bad act for the industry and needs to be rectified, but I do understand why people do it. And I guess the reason that they want to see newer shows rather than seeing the older shows is because of the fact they get to discuss it with other people. But if all you follow is the newest stuff, say, you know, like the newest 13 episode series, and you don't watch any of the classics, then can I ask, what are you a fan of, really? I mean, like if you're like a film fan, for instance, would have seen a lot of classic films, you know, like films from the 70s, 60s, etc., etc. A classic music fan, well, not classic music fan, a music fan wouldn't just listen to the newest pieces of music from whoever. They'd have listened to, you know, a lot of important songs from like the 80s, 70s, etc., etc. Book fans as well. Book fans would have read a lot of classic novels. And it's just, I find it kind of interesting that anime fans, manga fans, they just don't see the value of older series. And it's something that the anime community needs to look at and try to rectify. Here's another thing. Sentai Filmworks, just recently, in America at least, they've just started releasing some classic series. What ones, like, God, what's it called? Gatchaman, I think, was one of them. And they've just released a Blu-ray of Kassan, the original Kassan, which was later remade into Kashern Sins. And they've just released, what's it called? Nydia Waters are Blue or something. I can't remember the name. But a lot of classic ones. But America has a very large population. In fact, actually, America is the third largest population in the world. And so there is a, you know, significant minority that can become very profitable. Over here, in the UK and Ireland, I just have this doubt that we're going to see these get released because they're aimed at such a small subgroup. I don't know. It just has me worried. It's a concern, in my opinion. It's something that needs to be rectified in the anime community. It needs to be looked at. It needs to be educated, you know, about. And in reality, I'd say it's much easier to be able to read older manga, at least, if you go down the legal path, because the fact that manga is cheaper to translate and to release. So I, for instance, have plenty of, you know, older manga series. I mean, one of my manga is actually from the 1950s, but the oldest anime I have, it would probably be from the 1980s, the first season of Dragon Ball Z and some of the Studio Ghibli films. And the reason that these things only get, you know, only the newest stuff get released, and these re-releases are so limited, is because of the fact that there isn't a market for them. And I just find that it's kind of sad. I mean, just because something's old doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It could be far superior to a lot of the newer stuff. I don't know. It's not an easy question to deal with. I mean, you have to, you know, for one, it's quite eye of the beholder. You know, it's people's opinion. If people if people watched some of these older series and did not like them and are only fans of newer series, then, you know, that's different. But I have not come across anyone who's done that. You know, usually if you look back at some older series, you can find, you know, some series that you like a lot. I mean, I'm watching Slayers and I enjoyed it a lot. I don't know. It's not an easy question, as I said. Hopefully this has made you think a bit. And I would recommend that if you don't buy it already, buy Neo. It's it's got lots of great reviews. It's got lots of great articles. For instance, the John Clements one. There's a lot of series I would not have started if it wasn't for Neo. I mean, Devil for Love Songs, for instance. But anyway, that's off topic. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say on it. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and bye bye.